Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? It's Tuesday night, and we are about to get in it. So tonight I want to kind of continue on the vein where we were, and we're going to continue with Let's Stretch It Out, part 2. Hey, Missy, I see you. Come on in. So I want to continue with Let's Stretch It Out. So last week we talked about the benefits of stretching, some of the natural benefits of stretching. And that one was stretching decreases stiffness, increases your range of motion. How far do you want to go in your life? What is it that you want to do? We talked about how stretching reduces the risk of injury. And this is all the natural things to the body. But when you put these natural things with emotional things and financial things and spiritual things, it's the same. The results are the same. And we said stretching helps you to manage stretching helps manage stress and to improve your posture. And I ended with, how are you standing? If you're not stretching, how are you actually standing? If you're always comfortable, if it's always easy, if you're always looking for the way out, are you stretching? And so stretching is not, said last week, stretching is not comfortable, stretching is not easy, but stretching is worth it. So tonight, I want to go a little further, and I want to talk about more in depth on the stretching, what the benefits are in your life. But I want to give you an example of how we stretch. So we in my personal development class, I talk about stretching. I do this exercise with the rubber bands. And so I told you last week that the rubber band was designed or created for the purpose of stretching. And when the rubber band is not stretching, he said, when you lose the tension between where you are and where you want to go, he says that's when growth stops. But as long as there is tension in the rubber band, you are stretching. And I shared with you, we're different shapes, we're different sizes, different colors, different backgrounds. And so whatever degree you are, wherever you are in life, wherever you've come from, it doesn't matter. But if I want to get to a greater place, a bigger place in my life, to be better in my life, I need to stretch. I got to come out of my comfort zone. And that's just it. And so some people grow and some people don't grow. I think about this often. People are just going to live. We're going to do whatever it takes to just live, right? But people don't advance forward. We don't advance forward. We don't grow. And sometimes you can look at the person next to you and you think, I'm doing the same exact thing, but the results aren't the same. Listen to me. The results are different, because some people are willing to get in the stretch and give it everything that they have, and you see the results. And some people are living as well, but they're not stretching, or they're stretching just enough, and you get the results that you get. But I want to talk about this. So in stretching, you have to build. Stretching is building momentum. It's creating a movement for your life. I've talked to you over the weeks about a standard, having a standard for your life, living according to a standard. And most of us, even when we say we live the Bible most times on our own terms, and we diminish the power of the scripture because I diminish it to make it comfortable for me, to make it easy for me. And so as a result, I don't get the fullness of what the word of God says that I am. Most of us live for God based on how we feel, based on how other people treat us, according to, in church or whatever. Most of us live for God based on what I like, what I want to do, who likes me or who loves me or whoever. We even diminish the power of the word of God in our lives. And so we don't even stretch spiritually most times. We don't even get the fullness of what we should be getting from God spiritually, not financially, because I don't give whatever the Bible says I should give, and then I don't help anybody. I don't give anything. And so as a result, I don't stretch financially. I'm not stretching spiritually. And so we're not even growing, and we claim to love God and we claim to walk with God, but there is no evidence in my life. And so when you stretch, there has to be evidence. And the more you stretch, listen, the more you want to stretch, because the better it feels to stretch. The more that you stretch, the stronger you get. The more that you stretch, the greater experiences you have. The more that you stretch, the wiser you become. The more that you stretch, the more you learn about yourself. The more you learn about life. The more you stretch, the more you learn to be able to deal with other people. You stop pointing the fingers at your finger at other people, and you start looking at you. You start taking the responsibility. I won't say the blame, but you start taking responsibility for yourself. And so no matter what other people do, I'm going to be responsible for me. I talked to you a few weeks about reacting and responding. And so most people, because they live their lives comfortable in this little box, in this comfort zone, we tend to react. We react emotionally often. You say this and it made me angry. You say this and you made me mad. And we say that they made me mad and they made me, and people can't make you anything. What we tend to do is, because I'm in a comfort zone and I'm not stretching, I'm not growing, I just react emotionally. And we think that's our nature. No. You can condition your nature to be, I don't react, I respond. And so my response, and my response is not towards you. My response is for me to grow. So no matter what people do, as long as there is not physical contact, you should have a response, not a reaction. But that comes from stretching. That comes from growing. That comes from, you know what? Stretching teaches you to not be the victim. Stretching teaches you to be the victor. Stretching teaches you to be responsible for who you are. And look at the word responsible. It means response able. I'm able to have a mature response because I stay in the stretch. And in the stretch, I am building momentum. I'm creating a movement. I'm creating a standard for my life. I'm creating a way of living. This is how you respond all the time. No. You don't react. You stop reacting. It's like these fires. Fires will pop up in your life all over the place. And if you keep reacting emotionally, you start going crazy. Listen to me. You start to become the victim of situations and circumstances. You start making decisions for your life based on the actions of other people. When you're not in the stretch and building momentum to your life of growth and wisdom and direction and power and strength, deliberate, and I mean intentional, deliberate growth. And when I say that, I mean growing with a plan. If you are not intentionally growing, listen to me. That means, and in the stretch, building momentum, which means over 2 years, you should see your growth. Over 3 years, you should see your growth. Over 5 years, you should see a difference in your life. Over 10 years, you should see a difference in your life. And if you are not seeing a difference spiritually, financially, spiritually, socially, listen to me, you're not in the stretch. So what we do is when I'm not in the stretch, I live for the moment. I live for the events in my life. So I said to you, I talked to you about the rubber band, right? And so when I'm not in the stretch, what we do is we decorate our lives. And so we live for moments. We stretch for moments. We stretch for the events rather than getting in the stretch and staying in the stretch. Remember, he says, when you're not stretching, you lose the tension. And most of us live without tension. We live without a growth process. We don't have a growth plan. And somebody told us when you get older, every year that you get older, you're growing. No, because I met a lot of 40-year-olds that still act like 20-year-olds. I met a lot of 50 and 60-year-olds whose finances say they living like they're 20. You're going to work every day, but you live in paycheck to paycheck. So it doesn't mean because you get a year older that you get wiser. It doesn't mean because you get a year older, come on here, that you're growing. It means you just got a year older. Some of us in relationships are still living like we're 30. Come on here. Some of us in our 50s and 60s, and we know we can't eat like we ate when we were 20 and 30 years old. So you have no tension in your life. You have no discipline. When there is no tension, I'm not growing. When there is tension, there's growth and there's commitment and there's discipline in my life. And we don't like to hear those words because we think it takes away from the fun of life. And it doesn't. Listen, what it does, it enhances your life, but it gives your life direction. And so most of us, we stretch for the moment. And this is what life looks like. We have moments. So, this color is, this. I graduated high school. Now I'm going to college. That's a moment. And then we stretch here. Well, I graduated college. Now I need to get a job. Well, I can't get a job with the degree that I have, so I'll just go get a job. And then the other stretch is now financially I'm locked up because I got to pay this money back, but I don't even have a job to make enough money to pay the loan. So I'm in the stretch financially. We live by the moments. Oh, you know what? I'm getting married. I'm going to get married. Now I'm married. I'm going to have children. So we have moments: children, marriage, finances, graduated college, went to college. We have moments, and now I have children, and now the children all my children started school. And so we live in moments of stretching. We have moments of stretching. And then my children are getting older and they're starting to leave home. What do I do now? I have no children to raise. Do I even know my husband or my wife? We've been raising children in the process, and so caught up in that we haven't been stretching in our marriage and growing closer together. So as a result, the children are gone and we don't have a life because we didn't stretch in our marriage. We didn't take time for us. And as a result, we don't know who we are because we didn't stretch to get there. So marriage looks like moments. We have moments of stretching. And that's why some of us stop and go and stop and go and stop and go, because I don't have a plan for growth. I just stretch as the moments come. I just stretch. I stretch according to the events. Well, I got to start saving my money because this is my son or daughter's senior year, and prom is coming and graduation, and they have to go to college. So financially, I'm in the stretch for the next 2 years because I got all of this stuff coming. And so life is colorful like this. It's by events, it's by the moments, it's by sections, but there's no real growth happening because the only time I stretch is when I need to. But then what stretching should really look like, it looks the same. When you make stretching a lifestyle, you don't see moments. You understand what I'm saying? You don't see the moments. You don't see events. You don't see timelines. You don't see the children leaving or going. I'm just stretching to grow. And as a result of my growth, my children reap the benefit of my growth as me being their parent. I'm not stretching or doing this because I'm a parent. I'm stretching and growing because I need to grow as a person. And who would reap the benefits of my stretching first? My children would. And then my husband will. So I stretch because I stretch as Natalie. I stretch as a mother. I just stretch as a wife. Any area of my life, when I'm stretching, every position that I hold in my life benefits as the result of it. And so I told you last week, you don't stretch to be a good mother. I mean, you don't stretch because of the position you hold. You stretch because you need to grow. And if you grow as a person, every area is going to benefit. And because we stretch for the moment, we only see a little bit of growth. Some of us have been in church all our lives. Listen to me. And we're no more stronger now than we were when we started 20 years ago. We're still wrestling with the same stuff because you stretch for moments. You save your money for vacations rather than just saving your money. We stretch for moments. And when you make stretching a lifestyle, you stretch, it's a movement. It's who you are. It's what your reputation says about you. I told you, character is what you have when you're with people. But your reputation, come on here, when you live the stretch, your reputation is what people know about you when you're not even with them. So people should bring you up and go, oh my God, yeah, they live a standard. They got this about their lives. But you can look at them. If you ever talk to them, you can hear it. You can see it. You know it. It's just their lifestyle. And their life becomes one big pattern, one big plan of growth, one movement of growth. You know, when you connect with this person, they make things happen because that's their lifestyle. They're not so heavenly minded that they're no earthly good. They're spiritual. They love God. They walk the walk. They live it. But they're not walking around with a whole lot of rules from church. No, they do the scripture. And when you do the scripture, it should be evident. A lot of us are not. We have moments that we need God, moments that we pray when we can't handle it, moments when I need him to come in and do something that I can't fix. But he says, no. It should be a lifestyle. And the lifestyle, you don't see the breaks because this is just who I am. This is just how I live my life. There are no breaks. There's no difference between my daughter being sick and her being healed, or this happening and this happening, or this happening and this happening. This is just my lifestyle. It goes back to the standard, and it goes back to the values. It goes back to the plan. It goes back to the structure. And some of us are saying, it takes too much to do all that. But that's why you have the life that you have, and you keep desiring the life that you want. When you come out of this moment, look, we even do it with our children. I get married, and then we have children. And with the children, I can't wait for the children to start school. And then I can't wait for the children to leave elementary school. And then I can't wait, oh, now they're in middle school. And then I can't wait, oh, they're freshmen in high school. And in 4 years, they'll be seniors in high school. We live by the moment. And then after the children are gone, they go to college. And then what do I do with my life? And because I never had a plan for my life, I don't know what to do. My children, I hear parents say this all the time, my children are my life. Your children shouldn't be your life. Because what happens when your children become husbands and wives and they become parents of their own and they have to step away from you? So you need to build a life for yourself that pours into your children. So when it's time for them to go, listen, you taught them to stretch. You've taught them what it is to grow, what it is to be productive. And as a result, they take the same characteristics into their life, but you've already created a life for you. So when they're gone, you don't panic. People say, oh, I'm an empty nester. I don't know what to do since my children are gone. I do. I'm going to keep living. I'm going to keep growing. I'm stepping up my game. I'm going to get better. Some of us are so embedded into our children that we don't even know who we are. And it's because I live by the moment. I live by the moments of my children. I live by the moments. I live by the moments. We save our money by the moments. I'm getting married. Oh, I'm going to college. Oh, so-and-so is doing this. I'm going on this great vacation. Oh, we're buying a house. And rather than building momentum, come on here and just living your life in the stretch, we don't do it. Because one thing, the moments give you instant gratification. That's why. That's why we make big first birthday parties for our children, huge. First birthday parties are not for the 1-year-old. I would even say this, the first 3-4 birthdays, they're not for the children. The first 3 or 4 birthdays are for parents. We do huge first birthday parties and that baby doesn't even know what's going on. You understand me? Because we live by the moment. You spend $400 or $500 on a 1-year-old party. They don't even know what's happening. That's a moment. But then we do the 5th birthday. This is how we do moments in our life. We do the 5th birthday. We might do the 10th birthday. We know we're going to do the 13th because you're becoming a teenager. Then we're going to do what? Sweet 16. And we might celebrate the 15th, but we're going to do the 18th birthday. We're going to do the 21st birthday because you're 21. Now we can go get it in. We're going to do the 25th, and then after that, we do every 5 years until we get to 30. And we're going to do something big. And then when we get to, then at 30, we start taking it by tens. It's my 30th, it's my 40th, it's my 50th, it's my 60th. We live by moments. That's how we even celebrate ourselves. We celebrate ourselves by moments. But when you make stretching a lifestyle, you celebrate who you are every single day. You treat you like you love you every single day. Every single day I'm in the stretch. Every single day I show me that I appreciate me. Every single day I'm going to get out there and exercise. Every single day I'm going to be mindful of how I think about. Every single day I'm mindful of how I spend my money. Every single day I'm conscious of being a great parent, being a good wife, doing whatever you do, being a great employee. Every day I'm in the stretch. Every day I'm building me. Even on the days when you're doing nothing, because it is your lifestyle, it is your way of being, and nobody can stop you from walking that walk because you've set a standard based on your values and based on your work. And when you make stretching a habit, look at this, it's hard to stop it. You can't go back to moments. I have 6 children. I think I had a first birthday party for my first child. And after his birthday party, I said, I'll never do a first birthday party again. Because for what? I don't think I even did a party for the next ones until 5 or 6. For what? We do it for us because we need the moment celebrated. We need the moment celebrated. We need the moment. We need the moment celebrated. And so my mindset says, live your life according to the moment. Don't by the moment. Save your money according to the moment. And that's what we do. We live in spurts. We live in moments. And as a result, we build no momentum to get better, to get stronger, to get wiser. That's why we date the same people, different name, different day, but they got the same attitude. You know, and then we start to say, oh, there are no good women and there are no good men. You need to get in the stretch. You have no standard. You have no standard. You have no standard. You have no standard. And when you start living the standard, there is a residue that pours from you. Understand what I'm saying? When you start living your standard, come on here, there's something that comes from you and people see it, and you don't attract what you used to attract. Understand what I'm saying? You have to create a standard of living for yourself. And we don't live by a standard. We live by that superficial, how I look lifestyle. It's based on how I look. It's based on what I wear. It's based on what I can buy. It's based on how dynamic my children are. What happens when all of that's not your life anymore? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you when everybody else that has made you who you are is gone? So I asked this question in my class, I think the second week, who are you? And people say, I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a wife, I'm a coach, I'm a minister, I'm a teacher, I'm a social worker, I'm a president, I'm this. Okay, but who are you? And I remember one gentleman, I asked him, I said, who are you? And he said, I'm a man of God. I said, okay, that's good. But tell me about you. I'm blood bought, Holy Ghost filled, he gave me the whole Christian, speech. Okay, tell me who you are. Who is the man that bought that nice shirt that you're wearing? Who are you? And he started to stumble because he couldn't tell me. So what we even do is we know our identity is hid in God, but God said you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He said, I made you in my image and in my likeness. So if you weren't supposed to know who you were, why did he give you character? Why did he give you creativity? Why did he give you talent? Why did he give you purpose? Why did he give you all of these gifts and all of these talents if you weren't supposed to have your own identity? So understand the power of God. He made us so diverse, so the same, but he made us so individual. That's why and all of us being made the same, the physical body is made exactly the same, male and female. There are no other species, right, of the humankind. But each of us have different gifts, different purpose, different talent, different ways of thinking. But that's the power of God. And what we do is we hide behind God and we get very spiritual because I don't even really know who I am apart from being a mother and being this. Because what happens when you're not raising children? What happens if your mate dies? I'm a wife, I'm a mother. What happens when you don't have children to raise? What happens if your mate dies or they leave? And people go into tailspins when these things happen because I created my whole life around a moment in my life. For a moment, I was a mother. And I'll be a mother. Listen, and when I say mother, I mean literally mother. I'm still a mother, but that's a moment in my life. That's one part. I'm a wife. I'm still a wife, but I'm also Natalie, and I need to build who Natalie is. And what we do is we build ourselves for moments. And as a result, when the moments are no longer a part of my life, I'm in an identity crisis because I didn't grow out of that. I've been that for so long. I don't know how, I didn't even establish my own identity. You know how you used to look and how you used to dress before you became a parent? And now that you're a parent, the reason is, oh, I have children. So is that why we let ourselves go? Because we had children? Is that why we stopped living because we had children? No, that's just a moment. That's just a moment. It's just a moment. It's just a moment. We stopped creating. We stopped living because I got married. I became a parent. Well, I'm a wife now. No, you keep stretching. You keep growing. You keep getting better, and we stop living. We stop living. We don't know who we are outside of it. And so stretching, we miss the great benefits of the scripture. We miss the great benefits of life because we limit ourselves just to a moment when this can be your lifestyle. Listen to me. This can be your lifestyle if you want it to be, but you've got to be willing to sacrifice the stretch. Listen to me. Stretching is painful, but stretching is necessary for growth, and stretching is worth it. Listen, it's necessary for growth and it is worth it, but it needs to be a lifestyle. Your life needs to be the same across the board. It needs to be the same all the time, and you build momentum. Come on here, because you're creating a movement. This is how we create a legacy. This is how you create a legacy, because I'm building momentum in my life. And when it's time for my children to step where I've stood or anything similar to it, it should be at the next level. It shouldn't be beneath. It shouldn't be backwards. Come on here. It should be at another level. This is how we build momentum. Generations and generations build momentum. But some of us, come on here, our children are behind us because we didn't give them anything. We gave them a big prom. Their prom was awesome. I spent $3,000 on just on the prom. We gave them a great prom. But we didn't teach them how to save their money. We didn't teach them how to be a husband or a wife. We didn't teach them how to stretch. We didn't teach them how to grow. We didn't teach them how to build momentum. But their prom party, the champagne party, it was off the chain. You see some prom parties now, they're renting Rolls Royces. And I'm thinking, gosh, what are we going to do for the wedding if we get in a Rolls Royce for the prom? Because my mindset says the moment needs to be great. The moment needs to be huge. We don't do lifestyles anymore. We don't build momentum. We don't build momentum. Come on here. I want to leave a legacy greater than what people can see and what people think about me. Come on here. Stretching is from the inside out. We do. Prom is the greatest event in our children's lives. We spend all this money on prom. Come on here. That's the greatest event in our children's life. And then they're doing what? Because it's for the moment. We live for the moment. And we stretch for the event. And as a result, you get the results that you get. My husband and I are not growing together because we're not stretching in this marriage. We're not building anything in the marriage. We're married and we love each other, but we're not building momentum. We're not building anything. You should be building a legacy to live by. You should be building something that your children can see as honorable and they see as powerful, and then they desire to have it. But if you are still in a place where you're doing this and this and this because I'm trying to be comfortable, I'm trying to be accepted, I'm trying to be understood, I'm trying to be liked, you're still living according to the moment. And so you can have moment living and not stretch, or you can have a movement living and make stretching a part of your lifestyle. So there are so many benefits to stretching. Look at this. John Maxwell says in the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, stretching always starts from the inside out. So what we like to do is social media, and I tell you this all the time, social media has allowed us to be whatever we want to be, because all I have to do is put it on the computer, put it on the internet, and I can put on the internet whatever I want to put on the internet. So I'm not obligated to build a life. So my life looks just like my Instagram, different pictures, different moments. We only put the good stuff on social media, different events, different things. We only put the good moments to make people think this is what life is all the time. So we're accustomed to living by the moments and social media glorifies moment living. Just put your best moments on social media so everybody will think that you have it going on. And we've gotten accustomed to living like that. You guys, listen to me. I call this sometimes living the lie, because on social media, we can't see what your marriage really is. We just saw the nice picture, you and bae, or you and wifey. I don't want to be a wifey after 32 years. I don't want to call my husband bae after 32 years. He's so much more than a bae. I'm so much more than a wifey. You understand me? We need people to see that we went to the movies. We need people to see that we went to dinner. We need people to see, because when you live by the moment, you need to be applauded and you need to be celebrated. And social media puts us in that box of the moment. That's what Instagram is. It's for them. Look at my moment in time. And I need you to applaud and like and comment on that to let me know that that was a great moment in my life. But the people that are really doing something, come on here, those are the people we actually follow. The people who are consistent and they're really going somewhere and they're really doing something. I told you a few weeks ago, people that are on there to be followed have more followers than people that follow them. Think about that, because we celebrate people who've created a lifestyle of discipline. We celebrate those people. We follow those people. We want our children to be like them. We want our children to be an athlete just like so-and-so. But they created a life of stretching, a life of being uncomfortable, a life of discipline, tension, and commitment. They created a lifestyle of that. And we follow a lot of those people on social media. And here I am on social media and nobody's following, because my life looks like this. It's not consistent. So I don't put up all the other pictures, because my life is by the moment. It's not by the lifestyle. He says stretching happens from the inside out. We tend to dress up the outside to give an appearance so everybody can believe this is what life really is. But if we shut off social media and we came to your house, what would we see? What would we see? What would we see at your house if we came to your house? What would we see in your bedroom? What would we see in your living room? What would we see in your space where you thrive, where you have your moments? What would we really see? Because we know you clean it up for the moments. It's cleaned up for the moments, but what is it every single day? Am I in the stretch? I said I was telling my kids, we were on our way coming from somewhere, and I said, the way that you know who people really are, just the honest, what would, if you don't ever say a word, what would tell you who people really are is their credit score and their health. Because just about everything else we can lie about. But what will show you who you really are is your credit score. It's going to show you how disciplined you are, how focused you are with your money. And your health is going to tell on you. You can't lie about that. You can't say, well, yeah, I'm good, I'm healthy. We see you're not. It's on paper that you're not disciplined. Your health, your finances and your health will tell the truth about your lifestyle every single time. And those are two things that, we try to pretend that don't exist, because people don't ask details. And you can't lie about those things because they're evident. So what would people really see if you didn't put just the good stuff on social media? What is the relationship really between you and your children? What does it really look like? Are you the, do as I say, not as I do parent? Or are you the follow me as I follow him parent? Are you the parent that is empowering and building and teaching and all of this? I talk to parents all the time and say, well, I don't know why he did that. We took him to church. Yeah, most of the time we took them to church and they were asleep in the back. But what was it that what was going on in church going on at the house? Because I took them to church. It's more, but we went to church, right? What would people really see? Are you really creating a lifestyle? Or are you that person that just dresses up the outside for the moment? And in this day and time, listen to me, you can look however you want to look. They have weaves now for men. Men can get hair put on and it look like a nice fade with waves in it. Men can do that now. You can be whoever you want to be today. And the goal is not that I be that from the inside out. The goal is that I be that for the moment so I can get some pictures so everybody can see and believe that's who I am all the time. But who am I when all the stuff comes off of me? Who am I if you take all my stuff away? Who am I? Take away all my titles. Take away all my stuff that I put on to make me me for the moment. And who am I in my life every single day? And most of us can't even be honest to say it. Most of us can't even be honest to say it. Stretching is from the inside out. And if you don't do the work from the inside out, guess what? Growth is not happening. I don't care how much you make up the outside. If you're not doing it, if you're not being honest with you and doing the work from the inside out, nothing is happening. Listen. If you need to always be right, if you're always the victim, if you're not open to growth and to hear and to learn and to be taught, you're not growing. If you pull back and you seclude and you hide and you quit, you're not growing. I posed a question to my husband. I said, what happens to people who say, we hear all the time leading a ministry that people say, I'm called to be, God told me to preach. I'm called to preach the word of God. And what happens when they quit because something happened or whatever, and they don't do it anymore? Did you actually hear God? Or was that something for the moment because you were at a good place in your life? So even the calling from God, oh, listen to me. Even the calling from God, we make it a moment move. We make it a moment. We do, it's according to how I feel. And I wish I would take the calling by God on my life and do it according to how I feel. Because it's a lot of days that I don't feel it, but God is not what you feel. And some people said, I heard a voice from heaven tell me to go preach the gospel, but I don't, it doesn't fit my lifestyle right now, so I'm not going to do it. Will you be held accountable to God for that? Did God lie? This is just a question. Did he lie? Was it just a moment in your life? Come on here. Was it a moment? Or did he call you a long time ago and you said, I'm going to build on this thing. I'm going to build on this. God, this is the purpose and intent for my life. And I'm going to build on this. And as a result of building on it, he shows you how to go deeper in it and to go higher in it and to go wider in it and to grow in it and to be your best self as a result of it. But then he teaches you more and more and more. The more you walk with him, the more he teaches you to die to yourself. The more that you, but when you quit and it's not a great moment anymore, you know, something happened and I'm not doing it anymore. What happens? Some of us have worked jobs and after we leave the job and we retire, we don't even know how to live because I never created a lifestyle. Going to work was a moment in my life. And without that moment, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know. I was somebody at the job, and without it, I don't know who I am without it. Some of us is run to work because we're running from home. I need that accomplishment in my life because it's not in me. Some of us are chasing something because, you know what, I need it for this moment in my life, but it's because I haven't built who I am. So you have a great career, but you can see insecurity sitting on your shoulders. Yeah. You're successful in your business, but if I ask you how successful you were in your house, how successful you were as a person, how successful you were in your life, listen to me. You couldn't even tell me because who you are, what you do makes up your success. But without it, are you stretching? Stretching is from the inside out. And if I don't work on me from the inside out, and that means, you know what? Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. You're not always right. You're not perfect. You make bad decisions. Come on here. We can go down the line. Stop lying to yourself. You know you're not healthy. You know you can do better. You know you spend too much money. You know you don't save your money. You know you have too much stuff. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Be honest with you. And when you get honest with you, you can be honest with everybody else. And when you start walking in that place with yourself, you don't care what people think or what people say. Some of us are hiding. Some of us are hiding. One thing that I often think about with being in the ministry, my husband being a pastor, is we're always on the front line. So our lives should be transparent. If you're under a leader and they're not transparent with you, you shouldn't be following them. Listen to me. You shouldn't even be following them if you know, that's the pastor private, that's pastor. If they can't be transparent with you about everything, what's happening in their life, I don't even putting your social security number out there and telling them, you know, your private stuff. Some things are private, but if they can't be transparent with who they are and they hide behind that shadow of the clergy, you know, certain things you need privacy. Jesus hung, bled, and died for the world to see. And I'm going to get private. So when you say you called, and if you are hiding, anybody, and so this is what blows me away. I'm not working on it. You got to do the work to get in the stretch, to make stretching a lifestyle. And you can hide behind social media all day long. You can post whatever you want to post on the internet and sound intelligent and all of that stuff. But if you're not really changing from the inside out, you're lying to yourself. You're really lying to you. Stretching is from the inside out. Your goal should be to make you better every single day. Every single day. It's from the inside out. You stop reacting to things and you start responding to things. You stop reminiscing on the past and getting caught up emotionally, and you start reflecting back on things to make you better. Because you're creating habits. Come on here. You're creating a lifestyle of stretching. He says, and stretching always requires change. Some of us don't want to change. Some of us don't want to change. Some of us don't want to change. And some of us use that old raggedy cliche. Well, this is just who I am. This is just how God made me. No, he didn't. Because he said we're made in his image and in his likeness. And I ain't never read that in the scripture. Some of us are not willing to change. If they don't accept me like this, they just won't accept me. That's a cop-out. And shame on you because you're not growing. When I hear people say that, I just let them say it because you're not ready to change. Listen, I just started this mentorship program and it has been going amazing. Ladies, I'm so proud of you. They're getting the work done. But some people have excuses. Some people have excuses. And so because you come to me for mentorship, I'm going to challenge you in your excuses. Because mentorship is about building a lifestyle. I'm here to help you to create a lifestyle. I'm not here to let you be the same, right? I'm not here to let you be the same. We like to make excuses, and we tend to tell our excuses to people who will accept them. We know who to tell our excuses to and who not to tell our excuses to. And if you got people around you that are yes people and they let you make excuses and they don't say anything, I would get new friends. I would get new friends because I'm a question. Why would you spend all that money to do that? You know, rent. Or why would you spend all that money to do this and you know you need to do this? If I were you, I wouldn't. That's not wise to do that. You need to do this. I'm telling you, you need to get the right people around you. Look at this. He says it requires change. You can't be the same every year. Every year, my goal list looks the same. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to save money, get closer to God, and start spending time with my family. Every year, the goal list looks the same. You should just get 2004 and change the date because it's the same stuff. Because that says I'm not growing. I haven't grown. My goal list is the same every year. Every year, my goal list is the same. Every year, your goal is the same. That means you haven't grown. The only difference is you've lost what you said you were going to work on keeping. Now it's finally gone because you never changed anything. And you can't build a life of stretching. You can't build a life of change. Come on here, being superficial. Some of us are so superficial. We like people to think a certain way and da-da-da about us. And you can't live like that. You can't live like that. If you are living like that, you're not getting good results. And it's easy to say, well, I'm going to work and I'm good at what I do. You're good at what somebody else created for you to do. You didn't even create that. So it's easy to step in line and do what somebody told you to do. That's what you do when you go to work. It's not your plan. It's not your purpose. You just go in and do what they tell you to do. And you can get good at it. You can have a natural talent to follow orders and do what they told you to do, but can you create who God says you should be? And that part we avoid, and we hide behind everything else. He says, I created you to be great. I created you to be the greatest of all creation. And here we are minimizing who we are. Most people don't step out and challenge themselves to be great. We don't. We just live average. And he says, and when average people die, nobody remembers them. Because average people don't do anything. Average people don't create movements. Average people don't affect lives. Average people don't do anything. Average people, what will you be remembered for? What will you, when your day comes, whose life did you affect as a result of your stretch, as a result of your growth? Or were you just, girl, she been the same for 20 years. I don't want anybody, don't any of y'all get up and say that about me. Because that's not the truth. You understand me? No, he says stretching requires change. It causes you to think different. It causes you to respond different. It makes you get up. It pushes you in the back to get up and make your life happen. I'm not giving everything that I am to my children. No, that's not what God intended. Now, I'm not saying don't build them, don't make them, don't shape them, don't mold them, but what are you going to have left when they're gone? Because when they find somebody that they love, I often say, when they find somebody that they love and somebody that they can kiss on and they like it, they're going to say, bye, mama, bye, daddy, I'm in love. And they're going to leave you. And sometimes it's going to be with the person that you don't think is best for them. But it's their decision. What are you going to do? Because the moments, listen, they change often. And you're going to go from one moment to another one. Parent, I'm an empty nester. What does that mean? Oh, my God, what does that mean? You didn't think it was coming. You didn't prepare yourself for it. You didn't start getting your marriage ready for not having children. What happens when you don't have anybody to take to practice and anybody to take to the recital and anybody to go? You don't have to go sit at a baseball game and a football game and a basketball game. Who are you without all of that? You don't have to get the snack bags. Who are you without all of that? What does your marriage look like when there are no children in it? I was listening to a podcast and someone said they went to a couples only resort. The first time they had traveled without their children. And they said he and his wife, he said, we sat and we laughed and we talked. And then we just kind of sat and people watched. And he said, and then you saw those couples who sat, and because you could tell they weren't connected, they pulled out their phones. And they were on their phones and they're at dinner, just the two of them. They didn't know who they were without their children. Come on here. Stretching creates change. And in the process of raising my children, I'm stretching to be a better me. So when my children are not here, I'm ready for it. When my husband is not here, I'm ready for it. Life is not going to stop for me because he dies. No, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to still build his legacy. I'm going to take his legacy to the next level. I'm going to build. I'm going to keep building. He says stretching, come on here, requires some change. Moments don't, because I finished that moment and I'm just, you don't do anything when you lose tension. When there's no moment, I'm in the cut, and then I lose tension, and then, oh, here comes another moment, got to do this. And when there's no moment, I just don't stretch, and here comes another moment. And he says growth stops when you lose tension. And so for people that live by the moment, when there is no moment, I have no tension. I don't need to grow because it ain't nothing happening in my life. Oh, something happened, I need to grow. Oh, something new happened, I need to grow. Oh, something else happened, I need to grow. And when there is nothing happening, I'm not growing. And you should be growing every single day. You should be stretching every single day. You should be changing every single day, every single day. Every single day, you should be growing. And if you're not growing every single day, listen to me. Stop trying to be popular with all the topics on social media. Some of us jump on all the bandwagons. Everything that comes out on social media, we jump on it. We have a comment. We pose a question about it. For what? For what? I don't want to talk about the topics. The topics in the media change just like this. And some of us need a reason. And so we jump on the bandwagon of topics that happen in the media. We just jump on the bandwagon and we're going to protest for 2 days. And then when it's over until the next one, we're not going to do anything. When nobody's doing anything. And then when, oh, something happened, we need to, not doing anything. Oh, what you think about this? Some of us are just by the moment, and it's obvious. If you're going to encourage the people, get on there. It's the greatest tool to encourage, to speak life to people. And we're on there by the moment because that's what the status quo is. But when it's your lifestyle, you don't live according to the status quo. You just do what you do. This is my lifestyle. It's not by the moment. The media changes every single day. And some of us live our lives just moving from place. That's how we like that. We like that. We like the negativity. We like the energy of it. We like and we just follow it. We chase it. And then when there is no moment, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything. There are some people that don't march for certain things because they're doing something every day. I don't need a moment because I'm doing something every day with people. I'm doing something all the time, helping people. So I don't need a movement. I don't need a moment. I don't need a march today for 3 days because when the march is over, I'm still doing what I do to help people because it's a lifestyle. Come on here. And come on here, and it keeps growing, and you keep changing, and you keep getting better, and you keep doing, and you keep giving, and you keep serving. It's just your lifestyle. He says stretching sets you apart from other people. You know the people that stretch, and you know the people that don't. And the people usually that are not stretching are talking about the people that are. You know the people that do stretch, and you know the people that don't. The people that don't stretch follow the people that do stretch. All of us, listen, all of us were created to be people who stretch. It's how God made us. All of us have the capacity, come on here. All of us have the capacity to do whatever is in our heart to do. Some of us are not willing to stretch at all. Some of us just want to do it by the moments because I don't have time. I don't feel like it. Ooh, that hurts. I don't need to. Ooh. I can't save my money. Ooh, my credit is bad. I can't buy a house. I just can't eat that. My doctor told me. Some of us are just not willing to stretch. So we follow people who are and we desire to be. I told you before, go look on Instagram. The people you follow have more, they have more followers than they actually follow. Because Jesus said the poor you will have with you always. That's not just money, that's mentally poor. And I don't mean mental illness. I mean the willingness to think and grow to be better. You're lazy. The poor you will have with you always. People who don't believe they can. Poor in spirit. People who make excuses, people who complain all the time, people who are always the victim, people who are willing to not try, people who can always point the finger at who did what and said what and why they didn't. You're going to always, those are poor. Negative, always negative. You look at life and you see the bad before you see the good. Those are the poor people that you will have with you always. And you will always have people who are followers of those that lead. Always. Because you will always have poor people in spirit, in discipline, in commitment, in focus. Come on here. In character. Got great talent, but have no discipline. You have great talent, but you have no discipline. Come on here. We can go down a list of celebrities who became great entertainers, but they took their lives. Kate Spade, a creator, a designer, come on here, a creative. Come on here, great talent. We can go down the list of celebrities. Great talent. Come on here, and God separated you. But what happens is you lose the tension and self overtakes you, and then we lose it. You'll always have those people who are not willing to stretch and those people that are giving it everything that they have. Which side are you going to be on? It's a matter of choice. And it's not that people that are willing to stretch think they're better than you. It's that you think they're better than you. And it's that you think you're not as good as them. It's a difference. You think they're better than you. It's the same, but it's different. You think they're better than you. And you think that you're not as good as they are. Here they are. They've made it a lifestyle. Listen to anybody successful and let them tell you their routine. And 9 times out of 10, most of us are not willing to do it. Every day you get up and every day, I listen to E.T. all the time, Eric Thomas, the hip-hop preacher, all the time. He just talks about grinding, no excuse. No excuse. And he is intense. Like I thought one time for me, now you need to calm down. You're too intense. You're too loud. You're too... I'm not, because this is my lifestyle and God made me that way. I'm passionate about what I do because it's real, and I am going to talk loud and I am going to talk strong. I am. And I'm not for everybody. I'm not for the people not willing to stretch. I'm not for moment people. I know I'm for movement people who want to hear it. And E.T. says all the time, you got to get up and grind every day if you want something from this life. If not, get what life gives you. Because this tells you you don't have a choice. Come on here. And so you have people who will always be passionate, and you will have some people who have just enough passion to get up and go to work. And that's the only passion. And if nobody creates a job for them, they won't have anything because they don't have the power. They don't think they have the power to create a job for themselves. He said, the poor you will have with you all the time. And stretching is what separates. Stretching is what separates people. Because some people are willing to do whatever it takes, and some people are willing to wait for their moment. Some people are willing to go get it. Come on here. I'm just going to keep grinding. I'm going to keep making it happen until, come on here. And some people are waiting for the blessing to come in a moment. I'm waiting for the Lord to, I can wait for my daughter to be healed, but in the process, we're going to live. I can sit back and I can be lowly and I can be devastated. I could be, but no. In the process, we're going to live. In the process, we're going to have a great life. In the process, we're going to give God glory with our life. In the process, he says, stretching separates you. Stretching makes you different. Stretching pulls you out of your shell. So stretching, come on here, stretching sets you apart. He said, the poor you will have with you always, because it will always be some people that are not willing to try. There will always be some people who make excuses. There will always be those people who point the finger at those people who are. There will always be those people that say, well, they can sing, but I don't really like them. You don't even sing. They got a CD. They're not my type. I just don't like the way you don't have to like them. They're already moving in their gifts. The only people sitting back, fans, my husband talks about it all the time. Fans can say whatever they want to be. They're just fans. Fan is short for fanatic. You follow them because you like to see them do what they do, and they do it well. And you have the nerve to form an opinion about what they do, that they do well, and you're not doing anything. The poor you will have with you always. Always. The poor you will have with you always. You will always have people who complain, who are negative, and you will always have some people who are willing to go get it. So you have to decide, what am I willing to do? And as a result of stretching, listen, for a pregnant woman, we can tell you about this. You get stretch marks, but the stretch marks are evidence, come on here, that in your stretching, something is coming. We don't like the stretch marks. They look ugly. They make our skin look bad after the baby comes. But the stretch marks are evidence that you're about to bring something forth. You got to keep stretching. We're trying to put cream on them and cover up the stretch marks and hide them because it makes our skin look ugly and all of that. But the stretch marks are evidence. Come on here. Those are your scars that you made it. The stretch marks say, you know what? I delivered something. Come on here. As a result of my body stretching and expanding into a degree that I didn't think I could do. That's what the stretch marks are. Don't hide the stretch marks and don't try to get rid of them. Come on here. That's your evidence. That's your evidence. I want to thank you guys for watching tonight. Remember, stay in the stretch. Stay in the stretch. Stay in the stretch. Stay in the stretch. All right. I love you guys. Next week, there will be no live. I will be out of town. I appreciate you guys watching tonight. Stay in the stretch. Remember, it's not the moment, it's the movement. Create the legacy. I love you guys. I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Have a good night. Bye.